Billy Adam Bierstein's here. He has a question for you.
Hey, Billy Howard. Honor to be here with both of you. I just wanted to say that. So, Billy, when you look back at your career from playing in intimate crowds like this in small bars to the larger venues, which do you prefer and why?
Well, I'm glad I'm out of the bars.
Yeah. You don't miss that?
No.
Right.
No, I mean, in the beginning, it was kind of rough. It's always rough for everybody starting out when you're playing.
Why is it? Because there are jerks in the audience and will just be complete assholes to you?
It's a crapshoot. You never know what the audience is going to. They may not want to hear you. Get out of here.
But isn't that training necessary?
Yes.
To become? It is, right? Because you really actually get the reaction of an audience, and you learn what they like and what they don't like.
Yeah, you have to go through the school of hard knocks to learn how to get good. I was an opening act for a long time for the Beach Boys, the Doobie Brothers, the Jay Giles Band.
Is that tough gig? Because I remember seeing Blood, Sweat, and Tears, and the opening act was the Allman Brothers. I saw them get booed off the stage.
Yeah, it's tough.
Because that audience doesn't necessarily want to see you.
No, they don't want to see you at all. The Beach Boys, forget it.
Right.
They want to hear good vibration. Sing us a song and boom, get off the stage.
Do you ever feel like throwing in the towel after something like that? I mean, when they get, oh man, this is awful.
No, I never felt like throwing in the towel. We just kind of adapted. We said, okay, I'm gonna have to come up with some songs that are a little harder hitting.
Billy, why is Vienna one of your favorite songs that you wrote? What is that? I mean,
this was one of those quickly written songs. It just kind of popped out when I was doing the Stranger album, which became a very successful album, and I really don't remember, where it came from, why it came out the way it did. But it was kind of a Promethean moment. It just kind of boing, sprang out of my head, and there it was. And
this is one of those that you wrote quickly.
Yeah.
And this was the story went that with Vienna, you were in Vienna, you were visiting your father.
Yeah.
And you saw like an old woman on the street. She's sweeping up or something, and you felt bad for her. And your father said, "Don't feel bad for her. She has work." We honor these professions in Vienna, right?
Yeah.
And you felt, hey, no matter how old I get, Vienna will wait for me, right? Because I can be an old man and still people will treat me with respect.
Well, it was sort of just an observation that you have your whole life to live. A lot of people who are in their 20s think they got to get it all together by the time they're 30, and they got to just kill themselves trying to get the golden ring by the time they're 30. And you have an entire life to live. So the lyrics, slow down, you crazy child. In other words, you've got a whole life.
Right.
We tend to kind of put older people away, and by the time you're middle-aged, you're over the hill, and it's all about young people and young people and young people. So, wait a minute, why do I have this whole lifespan? What's the point of it?
So the message is, don't treat your life like it's going to be over in 5 minutes.
Right.
Treat your life like, hey, you're in it for a marathon, and enjoy your life.
And some people will get there sooner, and some people will get there later.
Were you singing this to yourself, or were you?
I think I was singing it to friends and people I knew who I saw were really going through a lot, trying to grab that gold ring. And I said, slow down. You're going to be fine. You got to what you do. Just be good at it, and whenever you get there, you'll get there.
Here's Billy doing Vienna.
Screwed it up.
Take two.
Take two.
This is live.
This keyboard is messing me up. So rinky-dink sounding. Doesn't it sound like...
We forgot to get a piano.
We forgot to.
Okay, boys and girls.
You don't like the sound of that piano?
It's not real.
Doesn't it sound like that?
You don't like this? No, I think it sounds beautiful.
Okay, here we go.
All right.
Damn it.
You're so ambitious for a juvenile, but then if you're so smart, tell me why are you still so afraid? Where's the fire? What's the hurry about? You better cool it off before you burn it out. You got so much to do and only so many hours in a day. Hey, you know that when the truth is told, you can get what you want, you can just get old. You're gonna kick off before you even get halfway through. Ooh, when will you realize Vienna waits for you? everything you want to be before your time. Although it's so romantic on the borderline tonight. Tonight. Too bad, but it's the life you lead. You're so ahead of yourself. You forgot what you need. Though you can see when you're wrong, you know you can't always see when you're right. You're right. You got your passion, you got your pride. But don't you know that only fools are satisfied? Dream on, but don't imagine they'll all come true. Ooh, when will you realize Vienna waits for you? Disappear for a while. It's alright, you can't afford to lose a day or two. Ooh, when will you realize Vienna waits for you? You know that when the truth is told, you can get what you want or you can just get old. You're gonna kick off before you even get halfway through. Why don't you realize Vienna waits for you? Why don't you realize Vienna waits for you?
Tommy Burns on guitar.
It's Tommy Burns.
Tommy Burns. I love that song. That's such a beautiful song, Vienna.
Thank you.
Yeah, just gorgeous. You know, I was thinking the song "My Life." You did something back in the day that people didn't do. You gave that song to Bosom Buddies, the TV show. I used to watch that show religiously. And I remember that was the theme to the show.
Yeah.
Was that a big decision for you to give your song to a TV show as a theme? Nowadays, everyone's doing it, but back then it was kind of like, oh, you can't do that.
No, it was another place for the song to live. I hadn't really allowed my songs to be used for endorsements or commercials at that time. Television was another medium, and it was another place for the song to live.
Did you like the show? Did you ever watch it?
Yeah, I watched it once, got it, but I didn't really watch. I'm not a sitcom guy. I watch the History Channel.
Yeah, since I know you personally, I know you actually like religiously watch the History Channel.
Yeah, my girlfriend calls it the Hitler Channel.
Right.
It is, right.
But what is it about the history? Because you will spend days watching the History Channel, right?
I'm just fascinated with history, and that we have footage. I mean, especially the 20th century.
Right.
I like ancient history too, but I like to feed my mind. I like to learn
Hitler
things.
is like Shark Week
Right.
on the History Channel. They're now doing that where Hitler's coming
Hitler
back.
Week, yes. The thing, too, is with the History Channel, I was thinking about you going to Russia when you played Russia, and when you see what's going on in Russia now.
It's scary.
It is scary, right?
Yeah.
It feels oddly familiar that someone is taking over land. And so when you watch that, are you sad because you played Russia and you saw freedoms coming about, and now it seems like maybe a lot of the freedoms going
Well,
away?
just keep in mind the leaders over there don't necessarily represent the people.
Right.
Russians are people just like we're people, or like Americans are people. And when you watch this guy make political moves and being aggressive, doesn't necessarily reflect how the people over there feel. We always thought of them as a big monolith. Remember Swimwear? Evening wear, and the women would wear potato sacks, like
Right.
Russian fashion show.
Wasn't like that when you went over.
No, they were like us in the 60s. They were ready for a change. They loved America. And it was one of the few places you can go and people go, I love America, God bless America.
Billy, did that concert leave you in the hole financially? It was like rumored like it cost you $1 million personally.
It was more than that.
It was more than $1 million.
Yeah.
And did that upset you?
Nah.
It didn't. You just felt the historic value was what you were after.
I just wanted to go over there and do that. I know it costs money to bring the whole thing, the whole production over, but I thought maybe we can make it back with the film, or they put out an album, which I'm not crazy about.
You don't like that album?
No. I don't think it ever should have come out.
Why did you allow it to come out?
I didn't allow it.
Who got it
The record
out?
company put it out. They're entitled to.
Oh, they were? You mean because they helped front the money for the tour?
A little shady deal that was going on.
I see.
Yeah.
It seems like every artist has one of those. Crosby, Stills, and Nash, I interviewed them. They hate the album Four-Way Street. David Bowie hates Live at the Philadelphia Forum. And you hate your live concert, but sometimes the record companies will just do that to you and screw.
Well, I had a sore throat the whole time I was there. I don't think they're good vocals. I don't like the performance.
Were you pissed off during that performance? Because at one point you throw over like a chair and like
I threw the piano.
Why did you throw the piano?
Because they were making a film. Well, there was two films. One was a documentary and one was a concert film. During the concert, the film crew had to light the audience so you could see the audience. But over there, this was like in the mid-'80s, they were still paranoid, people in the audience. They didn't want to be seen playing air guitar and air drums.
Right.
Everybody wants to do their stupid air rock star move out in the audience. As soon as the lights went on, you see the... And it's killing the show.
Right.
So I'm yelling at the guys, turn off the lights, you're killing the show. Just turn off the light, turn off the light. They wouldn't listen to it.
So the audience looked dead, in other words, because every time they turn the lights
like
on...
deer in the headlights.
Right, and that'll kill you because...
I didn't know nothing.
Right, if you see one person not rocking out to you, you get bummed out. When you see a whole audience
The
freeze
whole audience,
up...
they just stopped. It was like musical chairs. So I said, stop lighting the audience. They wouldn't listen to me, so I took the piano. I said, okay, boom, flipped the piano. Now, Wayne, who was my keyboard technician, was with me at the time.
Right.
Now, he's seen me flip that piano like a dozen times. Whenever it doesn't work, it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Ah, fuck it.
Billy.
Black crash.
Billy, are you sorry when you do something like that? Do you go home that night and say, oh, shit, I shouldn't have gotten my temper shouldn't have gotten that bad. I shouldn't be flipping pianos
No,
on stage."
because it worked. It got the guy's attention. They stopped lighting the audience. And then the kids in the audience were, that was light when you trashed the piano. What do you trash next show?
It becomes part of the act.
Yeah, they thought it was part of the act.
Something I just learned about you. You, early on in your career, the song Leader of the Pack, a huge song, you played on the demo, but you didn't play on the actual song. How does that come about?
I'm not sure if it's me on the ultimate recording of it. I know I played on the demo. There was a guy named Shadow Morton who was the producer. He was producing the Shangri-Las. And I got to play on this session.
It was a little job.
It was a big job for me. I was about 16 at the time, 17. It was like a professional recording job.
How do you get a job like that when you're 16?
I knew the guy who was the guitar player on the session, a guy named Sal DeTroia. And he said they need a piano player. The guy they were going to get, it was Ellie Greenwich, I think, was playing. She wrote it. And they wanted me to play the piano on the demo. And then it became a big hit record. Now, I'm still not clear whether it's...
You are not.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if the hit record was taken from the demo. It's hard to tell what the difference is.
The song "The Entertainer," I want to ask you about that because I didn't understand something about this. When you wrote this song, you were home watching the Midnight Special with Wolfman Jack.
Wolfman Jack.
Yeah, remember him? I worked with him. Wolfman Jack was a disc jockey. He had a show, but you hated the show. Why did you hate that show?
There were two shows. There was Rock Concert.
Right.
With Don Kirshner.
Right.
And then there was Wolfman Jack. And it was, I don't know, I found it to be kind of infantile, the way they would present acts.
Right.
And they had this stage that was designed by, I don't know, some dance guy. It just wasn't very rock and roll.
Right.
But Rock Concert wasn't bad because they just let you play.
Right.
Midnight Special, everybody got the same stage with that Art Deco background. Remember that?
Yeah.
Now, where they come from?
So you hated this? You didn't like the way they treated musicians on that show? Is that what the song's about?
It was kind of like Saturday Night at the Palladium.
Right.
You know, da 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 da. And now here comes, you know, the Zombies, and now here comes whatever act was. It was kind of assembly line. I mean, it started to bother me.
So you were starting to be like, hey, I am the entertainer. In other words, you were writing about these other bands. They go on TV, and they're like assembly line artists.
Yeah, what's the
And they got to be
difference?
dancing monkeys for Wolfman Jack and his TV show.
Yeah.
And that's what the song's about.
Yeah, basically, like we're all interchangeable. That's what they were presenting it like.
The song,
Doesn't matter who it is.